Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. I got in a new release from Wuben called the G5, and like a lot of their other flashlights, this one certainly has an interesting design to it. So stick around if you'd like to learn more about it. We'll do a real quick unboxing. I'll go over all the features and specifications. We'll go over the user interface. I'll give you guys some beam shots and then give some thoughts on it. Quickly show you around the box. Looks like we have a max output of 400 lumens, Type-C rechargeable, 5-year warranty. Some more specs back here. Again, high of 400 lumens. Looks like there's a low of 2 lumens, so kind of like a moonlight mode. And then we have some RGB stuff going on here. Beacons. Looks like we have a beam distance of 82 meters, drop tested to 1 meter, and it is IP68 waterproof rated, so this can be fully submerged. All right, let's get everything out of here and see what all comes in the box here. So it looks like we have the light itself right up on top, and then a manual, and then a little baggie here. Let's see what all comes in this. Looks to be a Type-C charging cable, so A to C, and then a wrist lanyard. There is also a little key ring looking type thing down in here. I will quickly show you through the manual just in case you buy this light and then lose your manual. You can always come back to this video as a reference, so you can just pause and read any of the stuff that you want to. Got a couple more pages here. And last page. And finally, the light itself. This little guy is tiny, very skinny. Let's get some close-ups here. Grab you guys some quick dimensions. We're looking at a length of 2.45 inches. Try to go to this widest spot up here. A width of 1.48 and a thickness or depth of 0.52. And it has a weight of 1.8 ounces. There it is in comparison to a dollar bill. Thing of chapstick, and a Jeep key fob. A couple more features of this little light is that it does have a magnetic base on it, and as you can see, it can definitely support itself horizontally here, so it won't have any trouble vertically. It has a rotating or pivoting head, and I think it can go basically like 180 degrees. It can start there and go all the way around to the other side. That is a little bit stiff. There's almost like a, like you can feel it almost like catch or latch in place. I don't know if the microphone picked that up or not. And it also has this pocket clip that's kind of like hidden. It's branded. Right there's their name. It's a little bit difficult to get this to swing around. If you have small fingers, you won't have any troubles at all, but you kind of like pull on this like outward, and then it rotates in place. And this clip can actually be positioned to either side, so it's probably good for lefties as well, or depending on which pocket you like to carry your light in. Only kind of complaint with this is that it doesn't really like lock into place. Once you get it here, it will still move around. I do wish that kind of like snapped and locked in once it got there. Over here on the side is kind of like our modes. We have lockout, basically light in use, and then charging. So right now it's on lockout, so if we hit any of the buttons, nothing's going to happen. We can move that up to there. And then if we want to charge it, we slide it up to there. And technically you can use the light in either of these two positions, either there or up there. You can attach that wrist lanyard or that key ring through that little hole right there on the bottom. As you can see here, we have two LEDs. This is our main LED, and then this is the RGB. We'll go over operation here. It's pretty simple. To turn the light on, it's just a single press of the button here. It does have mode memory, so it will come back on in the last used brightness. And so once you are turned on, if you want to adjust your brightness, you just kind of rotate this little wheel here, and you'll see it start getting a whole lot brighter. And then once you've reached the max, it'll flash like that, and then you can go back down again, and you can stop it anywhere in between. It also has that turbo, which is the 400 lumens, and you just double tap to get to that. Let's say I'm on one of the lower output modes and I go up to turbo. If you want to go back to the lower output, you just double tap again and it brings you right back down. So that's a nice feature. To switch between your main light and the RGB, have the light on and then just long press the side button here. Switches over, and then from here you can rotate through the different colors. We have like an orange, almost like a yellow, a green, kind of bluish. That's kind of like a pink, and then back to red. On the RGB settings, you can double tap that, and you're going to get kind of like a beacon. I don't know if you can switch it while it's on or not. Doesn't look like it. So if we want a different color for the beacon, we have to go to that color and then double tap. And kind of similar to that main light, when we go into that beacon and it starts flashing, if you want to go back to just the regular red light that it was on, just double tap again and it'll bring you back to that solid red light. The RGB also has some like mixed color flashes. You can have red blue flashing, I believe red green, and then red yellow, and you get to those by double tapping. I think it's red blue first here, and then if you want to go to the next color, you just double tap again. So now we're at red green, and finally red yellow. I'm going to get the G5 charged up here in a minute, but I did want to show you guys that it does have a battery level indicator, and you access that by basically being like in a non-locked mode, so an on mode basically, and then push this for about a second, and then you're going to see this blue light right now start flashing. So if it's flashing blue, it means we're somewhere between 90 and 40%. I know it's a kind of big range, but if it was solid blue, we'd be basically over 90%. Solid red is between 40 and 15, and if it's flashing red, we're less than 15%. So I'm going to top this off, and then we'll come back with some nighttime beam shots. And so again, we'll just expose that USB-C port, plug that in. Looks like we get a red light indicating that it's charging. Something that's kind of unique about this light is that you can use it while it's charging, and all the features work on it. Alright, try to give you guys an idea of what the Wuben G5 looks like inside. Again, here we are on the lowest setting, and then I'm going to use the wheel, kind of go a little bit brighter here with it. See, for a little teeny tiny light, this lights things up pretty well. Alright, try to show you this little Wuben outside. It's basically a keychain flashlight, so you know, it's not a search and rescue light or anything like that, but we'll see what it can do here. Alright, I have it on right now. I mean, that's enough to definitely like illuminate your path or whatever, but let's just go on up to the turbo and see what it looks like. Yeah, that really lights things up well. Those trees right there are probably about 60, 70 feet away. Top of that one's probably about 90 feet away. It's actually very impressive for a light this size. And as you can see, if you needed to, change a tire in the dark or whatever, this light can be pretty useful for that. Or if you needed to, signal for help, or if you're broken down or whatever, you can see that from pretty far away. Well, hopefully seeing those nighttime shots was somewhat beneficial for you. As always, when I do flashlight reviews, I like to show what they look like in a pocket, because this is how we're going to be carrying them. And again, you can flip this pocket clip around either way. I carry mine in my left front pocket, and I like to have the clip out here. But you can flip the clip around and have it a little more out here on this side, or obviously in your right pocket. Another option for using this light is attaching it to the bill of your hat and going hands-free. And then with this rotating head, you can literally position the light wherever you need it. If you need it straight down, have it like that. If you need it going out a little bit or straight ahead. And for those of you wondering, this clip is actually very strong. I mean, you can shake the heck out of this and it will not slide or move off. So if you were walking with this, you don't have to worry about that thing moving off or anything. And for me personally, this is one more way that I will be using this little flashlight a lot, is inside of a backpack. This is the bag that I use when I fly. And as you can see, I can basically grab this and use this to find anything that's in here, or even in the other areas of the bag. So this is gonna be a perfect light for this. So I've been using this little G5 for probably 3 weeks or so now. And overall, I think it's a fantastic light, and I would definitely recommend it. I think the build quality is excellent. Practically everything on it is metal. It's very small and lightweight. It has that IP68 waterproof rating, USB-C charging, which you can use the flashlight while it's charging. It has that hidden pocket clip that you can rotate to different positions. It has that magnetic base, and it actually is pretty strong. It can hold itself in different orientations. The little head up here, you can rotate it basically to any angle that you needed to work at. And finally, it has that little built-in battery indicator, so you kind of always know what your battery status is. A couple things I think could be improved upon. First thing is like this stepless dimming, or the ramping. In my opinion, it's kind of like fast. Like you go from like the lowest and you just kind of barely move it, and you're like at the highest. Like, I'm already there. Like it just seems like it goes really fast. Just the slightest little movement and I'm all the way up at the top. I feel like they could maybe adjust that a little bit. I guess another small little complaint is that you cannot adjust this head with one hand. If you do, it's like super difficult to do it. Like you really got to like push and turn here. Like it's almost impossible. Like I'm really squeezing on this thing. Like you want this to be stiff and not just like dangle and fall on you when you're trying to use it. But typically what I have to do is I have to hold it in one hand and then take my other hand to adjust where I need the light angled at. I did mention this earlier in the video, but getting to this pocket clip is a little bit difficult if you have bigger hands. They want you to grab onto the head up here and then basically slide this thing out like this and then rotate the clip. Now, you can technically just pull on the clip from here and then do it, which is the way I kind of been doing it. But I don't think they recommend, because a lot of people will grab here and you can see how that's putting like that clip at an angle. And if you do that enough, it's probably going to weaken the clip. So if you do it this way, do grab at the top and pull it like, see how I pulled it straight out instead of pulling at an angle. And then the other thing with that clip is once it doesn't like lock into place. I wish that it snapped and held in place once you got it over to the side, because it does just kind of move right there. Like it snaps right there and locks into place. And I just wish it did the same thing on either side. Another thing I'd kind of maybe like to see is like an illuminated power switch. This button is kind of small, And I know from feeling over here that the button's not on this side, because you can feel that easily. So I know it's over here, but I'll be honest, there's been a few times in the dark that I've had a hard time like hitting it or finding it. And it'd be nice if it was illuminated and then you had the option if you wanted it or not, you could still turn that feature off. Because the way I've been doing it is I've actually been turning it on with like the side of my thumb, and that way I can transition directly to the wheel from that spot. If you don't do it like that, then you're kind of having to turn it on this way and then flip and change the positions. And finally, the last thing I'll mention is the IP68 waterproof rating. I don't know if it has to be down here in this locked position for that rating. Like right now, obviously the light doesn't do anything. And if I slide it one notch here to the little light position, well, now it works. Everything's on fine, and it looks like the port is still covered. But you can also slide this all the way up to the charge position so that the port is open, and the light still works perfectly fine up here as well. So I don't know if you can actually use it and have that port open. I couldn't find that information anywhere. And again, those couple little things like the ramping being fast and not being able to rotate that with one hand and the pocket clip and whatever, those are just like minor things that I just noticed while using. There's absolutely nothing wrong with this. I really, really like this little light. So I'm finishing up this video on April 4th, and these are supposed to be available on April 8th, which is the day I'm going to release this video. They are going to be priced at $20, which is an absolutely insane price for something of this value. I would definitely recommend you guys get one. Get a second one as a gift for somebody else or something, because these are really sweet little lights. I will for sure leave a link to Wuben's website for these, and as soon as they're available on Amazon, I'll also put that link down in the video description. If they provide me any type of discount codes, I will put that down in the description as well. But alright guys, if you found the video helpful or informative in any way, please give me a thumbs up. If you have any questions or comments, leave them down below. And that's going to be it on this one. Thanks for watching. I appreciate it.